Hello and welcome to another Analysis Behind the News, where we provide the perspective that you can use to help save American liberty and independence. We have two action items for you today, so please stay tuned. So the big question of the week seems to be, is President Trump fit for office? His physical and mental health is being questioned after a controversial new book by a member of the media. The author has admitted that he would say whatever was necessary to gain access to the White House. And in fact, the 25th Amendment is being referred to by some as a method to get him out of office. The 25th Amendment lays out two scenarios that transfer power from the president to the vice president. And no matter what your answer is to the question, there's no denying that the president is being attacked from every corner of the D.C. swamp. Those entrenched in the bureaucratic deep state have no interest in seeing an American First agenda come to fruition. To give you an idea of what the president is up against on a daily basis, we turn to pages 9, 10, and 11 of the January 8th, 2018 issue of the New American Magazine. And in it, Alex Newman writes, 95% of the money donated by federal employees who gave in the 2016 presidential election went to Hillary Clinton's campaign. Now folks, we're not talking about votes. We're not talking about pocket change either. We're talking about people giving more than $200. 95% of federal employees gave to Clinton. Now, Mr. Newman breaks it down even further with percentages of donations, and I'm going to hold it up, and you probably can't see it all that well, but on page 9, there is a couple of charts that show the percentages. So, State Department, 99%. Commerce Department, 98%. Department of Justice, 97%. And the IRS, 94%. And these are the people that actually gave money during the 2016 presidential campaign. And the list goes on and on. Now, Mr. Newman sums this up as the federal bureaucrats in charge of foreign policy, justice, education, agriculture, health, tax audits, housing, commerce, and more are virtually all opponents of their boss, the man elected by the American people to rein in those very bureaucracies and bureaucrats. He continues with, these trends are not likely to change anytime soon, with many of those bureaucrats having job security unimaginable in the private sector, which includes a practical ban on being fired, even when criminal activity is involved. Consider the implications of this hard-left deep state and the unfathomable power it yields over the lives of Americans. It is not a pretty picture. And now, these employees carry over from administration to administration. They're not automatically swept out of office with the election losers. Both Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden have publicly urged fellow bureaucratic staff swampers to stay in their positions. And Mr. Newman writes that at the EPA, former bureaucrats got caught circulating a guide teaching current bureaucrats how to resist the Trump policy that voters supported. So these staffers aren't just performing their administrative tasks. At least some are defending their unconstitutional turf and biding their time until America First eventually becomes Globalism First with a democratic or New World Order type of president. You see, the deep state is a shadow government that manipulates and shapes the policies of the visible government without any regard whatsoever to the best interests of the country, the U.S. Constitution, laws enacted by Congress, and the public policies of the president. And this isn't something that was recently created. You might recall that we've discussed those that pull the levers from behind the scenes many times before, including the intelligence portion of it that has helped in the overthrow of foreign governments and aggressively meddled in the affairs of other countries. So, in regards to the fitness of our president, perhaps the wrong question is being asked. Perhaps we should be asking how long American liberty will last if the deep state is allowed to carry on its unconstitutional agenda. And this brings us to action item number 1. Get your copy of The Deep State issue from the New American Magazine. hand out physical copies to those that prefer to read hard copy, and point others via social media to thenewamerican.com, which will have these articles published online this week. Then, once you have an understanding of this deep state, realize that this is what the John Birch Society has been exposing since 1958. We have exposed nefarious agendas that are worked on in secret with the hopes of defeating American liberty and independence. Defeating the deep state cannot be done with an amendment to the Constitution, nor can it be done by just electing Republicans. It can be overcome by exposing it and being part of a national concerted counter-program that informs and educates concerned Americans in their area. So, action item number 2, we invite you to apply for membership at jbs.org to learn of the opportunities in your area to stop the deep state and propel this country back to its constitutional roots. Then, be sure to share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time, we'll see you then. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. Click here to watch more videos, and click here to visit our site.